Hey everybody, what's up? As you can probably see me, hopefully you can now. Welcome to this video on the proposed, well, so far it's been reported, WrestleMania card. Now, WrestleMania 27 we know is a month away, but according to Dave Meltzer on F4WOnline.com, and also reported by guys here on YouTube like Steve Breach and a few others, there are some planned matches for WrestleMania as of this week, from the WWE creative meetings that has come out of the creative meetings for WWE. But also these planned matches could also change. Now, of course we know what the official matches are. WWE Title Match, we have John Cena and The Miz. World Heavyweight Title Match, Del Rio, Edge. Of course, it's the streak on the line match, Triple H and Undertaker. Then of course we have CM Punk and Randy Orton, McCool and Jerry Lawler, and I'll talk about that in a second. As well as possibly this 2 nights ago at SmackDown tapings, and this upcoming Friday. Tomorrow night I should say, on Sci-Fi, Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes. Now, those are the official matches. Mysterio and Rhodes, of course, will be made probably official tomorrow night. Now, besides that, we also have these planned matches. Now, these are matches that are in the planning stages, could be made official, could change. Now, let's start here. We have an undetermined Divas match. Now, what that means is this is a match that might be just one-on-one. Now, there is going to be Divas involved in another match, and I'll get into that in a second. But this is another, as they put it, undetermined Divas match. Now, we don't know exactly who's going to be in this match, but my guess is it's going to probably be for the Divas titles. It'll probably be Eve Torres defending against a mystery opponent. And my thought is, what better way to debut the one diva / knockout / women's wrestler that you've been wanting to debut, that you have signed and been wanting to debut for quite some time? What better way to do it than at WrestleMania 27 in the Georgia Dome? My thought on this, folks, is this undetermined Divas match that will take place in the planning stages. It's being planned to take place. Could be Eve Torres versus Awesome Kong. That's just my thought, because I'm thinking Dave Meltzer doesn't give any more details, but doesn't go into any more detail except for saying it's just a Divas match. That's all he's saying. Now, the reason there's no participants named yet is because the Divas that you would think would be involved are involved in this match, another planned match for WrestleMania, and it is a 6-person tag. On one side you'll have Trish Stratus, Kelly, and as of right now, John Morrison. So I guess, this is one way to get John Morrison on WrestleMania. And on the other side, you got Layla, McCool, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, we don't know how that's going to happen, but apparently this is going to be a 6-person tag. Now, how does this affect the other Divas match? Like I said, that match, that undetermined Divas match, could be for the title. It could be Eve taking on a mystery opponent, and like I said, what better way to debut someone like Awesome Kong than have her being the challenger at WrestleMania to Eve Torres? Now, speaking of divas, it seems the divas are going to be somewhat center stage in this matchup, even though it'll be for the United States Championship, where Daniel Bryan will take on Sheamus. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, the plan is to have Gail Kim in Daniel Bryan's corner, and the Bellas in Sheamus's. Now, some of you might say, well, that just doesn't make sense. Sheamus got buried by Triple H on Monday. Daniel Bryan got buried by The Miz. Look, first of all, yes, I think it's wrong that they're burying these guys. But here's the thing. Remember what Triple H had to go through because of the MSG incident. Remember what some other wrestlers have had to go through before they really skyrocketed and got that opportunity. It's the same thing with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. They're just going through a phase. And my guess is, because they're going through this phase and they're probably not complaining about it, this is going to be the reward. To be on WrestleMania in a championship match, even if part of that match is focused on the divas at ringside. So, there's another planned match. And then another match that's planned is, well, let's just say it this way. Last year, I think we got our fill of it. You know what I'm saying? We got our fill of it. And what I'm talking about is on one side in this match will be the entire core. That's right. Wade Barrett, Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, and Justin Gabriel will be on one side. Their opponents, Big Show, Kofi Kingston, Kane, and Christian. Now, I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute. I thought Christian might be getting inserted into that World Heavyweight title picture. That might still happen. That might still happen, which means somebody else may take Christian's place. But what I'm saying, though, is this is what they got planned. And as it says at the beginning of this thing, and you can even read the details on Steve Breach's video that he's done, these are just the planning stages, and plans could change. But these are just the matches that are being planned as of this week. So in other words, if this was the week before Mania, or if this was 2 weeks before Mania, then all those matches that are, like I mentioned, that are being planned, from the 6-person tag, the 8-man tag, to the United States title match, and the Undetermined Divas match, if WrestleMania was in 2 weeks, these matches would all be final. But they're not. They're in the planning stages. That's what they are. They're in the planning stages. Now, these are all 10 matches. These are basically the 10 match requirement for WrestleMania. Now, speaking of one of the matches that's already been made official, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole. Now, according to this, the special referee that Michael Cole is going to name this Monday, because that's what I heard online, he's going to name it this Monday, is going to be Steve Austin. Here's a question. Why in the world would you name someone like Steve Austin your referee? Now, also, according to another report, it seems to equalize Jack Swagger at ringside. Jerry Lawler is going to have the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, in his corner. So, that's what I heard as far as that match goes. And of course, we all know that the special guest host is The Rock. So, this is going to be a very unique WrestleMania, because according to the confirmation, the Tough Enough trainers, Booker T, Trish Stratus, and I think Bill DeMott, along with Steve Austin, are going to be at Mania, along with The Rock. Anybody sense maybe Rock Austin confrontation backstage? You see, my guess is, overall, I think what WWE is trying to do is they realize that some of the past WrestleManias in recent years have not really done that big number-wise. So I think they're realizing, hey, if we bring back some of the people that helped make Mania big in the past, people are going to want to see it. And we're going to get big buys. So yeah, And of course Trish Stratus is confirmed for Mania, not just because of Tough Enough, but because of the six-person tag she's going to be in. But again, a lot of people have a problem with that, from what I understand. They don't know why Morrison would be in it. Well, it's real simple. It's real simple. There's a reason Morrison's in this match. There's a reason you got this 8-person tag. There's a reason you got a United States title match, which isn't a bad idea. But there's a reason for this. Now, about a month ago or so, I reported that Money in the Bank would return at Mania. Well, apparently, myself and everybody else that thought this was wrong. Because apparently, this 6-person tag, the 8-man tag, the United States title match, are all to make up for the fact that there will not be a Money in the Bank, to make up for it. Now, that could all change. They could turn this core versus Big Show, Kane, Kofi, Kingston, Christian match into Money in the Bank. They could do that. But then again, I'm guessing it's just to show that they could do a WrestleMania without Money in the Bank. Now, here's the thing: they have not done a WrestleMania Here's the thing: they have not done a WrestleMania without the Money in the Bank match since WrestleMania 20. So you're looking at almost 7-8 years ago was the last time they did WrestleMania without Money in the Bank. So it looks like they're going back to doing it without it. They're going to try again without it. Now, some people, like I said, don't like this idea. They don't like it one bit. Well, I can agree that you don't like it, and I guess in a way, if you watch the Off the Ropes show here on YouTube, they were talking about WrestleMania 5 and how some of the matches there were kind of like slapped on, or just put on there for the sake of filling up the card. And, and some might say, they might say the same thing with WrestleMania when they review 6 and 7 and maybe even 8. That all these matches were just slapped on there for the sake of filling up the card. Well, it's not just about filling up the card. The reason sometimes matches like this take place is it's basically a reward for the job they did the past year. Basically, it's the Superstars and Divas reward for having a good year in 2010. So even if they didn't win a championship, the reward is, hey, you're going to be able to compete on WrestleMania. Now, I know you're thinking, well, what about all the other superstars? What about Drew McIntyre? What about this person, that person? Believe me, they're going to be doing WrestleMania as well. Even though it's going to be the pre-WrestleMania Battle Royal, they're still going to do it. But anyway, for those superstars and divas that I mentioned, this is basically a reward for them. This is basically like saying, hey, here's your reward. You did a great job. You're going to be wrestling on WrestleMania. You're going to be taking part in WrestleMania. That's their reward. Because think of it this way. Think of it this way. How else are you going to fill up almost 4 hours worth of wrestling? How are you going to do it? You do it by putting on some matches. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people probably feel, well, Money in the Bank took up a lot of time. That helps out. Yeah, but I think what goes on, I think what happens is WWE is realizing, yeah, Money in the Bank, a match like Money in the Bank does great and everything, but it doesn't really fill up the card. And they probably look at last year's and they're thinking, you know what, if we're going to do 4 hours, we got to go for almost 4 hours. We got to hit that 4-hour mark. So that's why I think they're just doing these matches, or planning it out like this. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be a Money in the Bank match. Like I said, this whole core versus Big Show, Kane, Kingston, and Christian, that might get turned into Money in the Bank. For all we know, Christian might get added to the world title match and be a triple threat, and maybe McIntyre will take Morrison's place, and Morrison will team up with Kofi, Big Show, and Kane. We don't know. See what I'm saying? again, this is, according to what this says, this is all in the planning stages. With the exception of the matches up here, Mysterio and Rhodes, Lawler and Cole, all the other matches from the 6-person tag, the 8-man tag, the United States title match, and the undetermined Divas match, these are all still being planned out, and they could all change. Like I said, the only benefit from out of all this is the fact, folks, that I believe if this undetermined Divas match that Dave Meltzer has not given any more detail into as to who's going to be in it, if this is what I think it's going to be, if this is going to be a Divas title match where Eve Torres is going to have to face a mystery opponent, then I have a feeling it's going to be the debut of Awesome Kong. Because like I say, what better place, what better time to debut one of your most anticipated signees, one of your most anticipated new superstars slash divas slash knockouts slash women wrestlers than at WrestleMania. Because we've seen that happen before. We've seen people make their debut for a company at the company's big Super Bowl event. We've seen that. So the question is, will that happen this year? We'll just have to wait to find out. But my thoughts on this, I'm thinking WWE wants to try the best to fill up the entire 4 hours, so that's why they're doing it. That's why they're planning it like this. Now again, things could change. If they do, we'll find out in the weeks to come, because we got about a month left. So 30 to 29 days left. Things could change. We'll see what happens. But my thoughts on it is real simple. I'm going to go by an old saying. And that old saying, folks, is don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover for one reason. One obvious reason. You can't, because if you judge a book by its cover, and you read that book, and you find out that it's better than you thought it was, than what the cover on it visually showed, then you usually have egg on your face. You're usually embarrassed. So again, with this proposed card, with basically half of the matches still in the planning stages, don't judge them by the cover. Don't judge it by its cover. So that's all I'm going to say. Tell me what you guys think. I'll put the match listing down in my comment section. Tell me what you think. I'll talk to you all later. You all have a good Thursday.